Hi, I'm glad to see you on my channel. Please support the channel, put likes, subscribe, and write comments. It's not hard for you, but for me it's motivation to create new videos. Your support means a lot to me, and I can't wait to share new stories with you. Enjoy watching. This story happened when I went to visit my grandmother for the summer. I was 22 years old, fresh out of university, and feeling both excited and unsure about the future. My name is Emily. My grandmother was incredibly happy to see me that day. Her eyes lit up and she hugged me warmly. She decided to throw a special party and invited my favorite neighbors over for dinner to celebrate. I spent the entire day helping my grandmother with cleaning, cooking, and setting up, which was very labor-intensive. By evening, I was a little tired, but the anticipation of the evening kept me going. The guests had arrived, and the house was filled with conversation and laughter. I had already had a couple of drinks to keep a smile on my face and relaxed into a festive mood. "Good evening, Emily. How you've grown. What a beautiful girl you've become," my grandmother's friend, Mrs. Thompson, said as she entered the hall. She hugged me tightly and I smiled warmly at her. With her was her son Jack, who still lived with his mother. He worked from home doing freelance technical work and spent most of his free time on the computer playing games or fiddling with gadgets. Jack had always been a little shy, but he had a good heart. The evening was fun, with lots of laughter. I listened to different stories, some funny, others heartwarming, and it felt good to be surrounded by people who cared about me. But after a while, I felt a little tired and needed some fresh air. I got up and said I would go get some fresh air and walk to the river nearby. "Jack, please go with Emily. At least hang out with her and keep an eye on her," my grandmother asked, giving him a knowing smile and waving for him to leave the table. She was always trying to get Jack to be more social, and I think she also wanted us to spend some time together. Jack hesitated briefly, then stood up and walked out of the house. He only caught up with me when I reached the river and a cool breeze touched my face. "I barely caught up with you. What are you doing here?" he asked in a surprised tone, catching his breath. "Your grandmother asked me not to leave you alone. You've changed a lot, you know. You look amazing. I remember you as a little girl, and now you're so grown up and beautiful," he said, looking into my eyes and stroking my back gently. There was something different in his eyes, a sincerity that made my heart beat faster. I didn't have time to respond before he pulled me closer, his gaze intense and filled with something I couldn't define. He leaned in and kissed me, gently at first and then more and more passionately. My heart raced and I began to kiss him back. He laid me down on the soft grass, and the world around us faded as we lost ourselves in the moment. The stars twinkled overhead, and the sound of the river running nearby seemed to blend perfectly with the rhythm of our breathing. And all in all, we did exactly what you might have imagined, something I had in no way expected on that summer night.